Right. I'm sorry about this, but he's hit a major snag with the cooker. So I'm going to have to go back down and help him.
Okay.
He has to keep lifting it in and out. And obviously he's got one hand, so he needs my other hand.
Well, whatever you do, keep an eye on the cat. Otherwise, she'll end up behind it.
But no, she's staying here with you. There you are. There you are. Talk to these.
Lovely.
Say hello.
Get more sense than we normally get.
I was going to say that.
Right. I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, see you.
Okay.
Surprised you haven't got a white shirt on.
Still a
Well,
few
just-
to come.
John,
Yeah.
John, you know, if you get short of things to do,
What, me personally?
not you personally, at the meeting,
Yeah.
there's those, that stuff I sent you last week.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Got Chris coming in.
A good job he wasn't on earlier when they mentioned women's rugby.
There's some big girls play that game. My word.
Yeah.
We are recording.
Yes, I know. But it is a fact, Paul. That's not politically incorrect. They are some
No.
big girls.
There are some big girls playing for Wednesday.
That will be edited.
Morning, Chris.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry for my lateness. Keith said I was involved in something else, so I'm sorry
What
I'm
do you
late.
think you're the Pope, the Queen?
Yeah, no, none of the above. I was just trying to earn some money. That was all.
We are down a few, I think, aren't we? We're needing another couple to join us.
Doug.
I thought we had a 16. Yeah, as Jonathan's coming in. The
There's a
coffee's
cool-
taking longer to brew this morning by the looks of it. I think we'll crack on. Oh, one more coming. Colin's coming in.
I'm just reading an interesting book that I've had for about 5 years. I buy so many books, it takes me several years to catch up with them. This one, Stuart McConey, Long Road from Jarrow, is replicating the Jarrow March and staying at the places where the marches stayed. It's very interesting.
I'm reading
Recommend it.
a book I was given for my birthday on what's her name? Miriam Margolyes.
Margulies.
Oh,
Margulies.
I think she's an incredible woman, but it's an interesting book, and I commend it to your reading. She's done everything, that woman, I think. Incredible.
Yeah. So when you're 80, can you say anything you like, whenever you like?
Yeah.
I
whenever
don't
you
think she
like?
waited to be 80. I think she was saying it long before.
She insulted everyone before then.
Yeah.
There was a time when she was on that party of guys that went to India, what do you call it? The real something?
Oh, yeah.
The real Marigold.
Yeah.
Increased the vocabulary of our household somewhat. Every time something went wrong, we did a Miriam speak. Anyway, let's crack on. Have we got everybody in? I think there's one down. Dave, crack on. We'll
Right.
catch up with people. when they
Formula
come in.
One. Lewis Hamilton kept his hopes of winning a record-breaking 8th World Championship with a brilliant victory at the Brazilian Grand Prix. After looking as though he would start the race in pole position, he was sent to the back for the start of the sprint race. His rear wing was declared illegal for an infringement of the drag reduction system. In the sprint race, Hamilton had 15 overtakes in the 24 laps to finish 5th. However, the new engine in his Mercedes resulted in a further 5 places drop on the grid to 10th. In the race itself, he had a ding-dong battle with Max Verstappen over the final 12 laps or so, after having moved up to 3rd by the start of lap 5. By lap 48, he drew level with Verstappen, and with Hamilton slightly ahead and holding the racing line going into a corner, Verstappen stamped on his brakes and both went off the track before rejoining. The stewards took no action at the time, but Mercedes are considering challenging the FIA's decision not to punish Verstappen. Hamilton finally overtook Verstappen with a dozen laps left to cross the line 10.4 seconds ahead. The win cut Verstappen's lead in the Drivers' Championship to 14 points with just 3 races left.
You think Verstappen is the Gillingham of Formula One?
Well, certainly the improvements that they've done to the Mercedes cars seem to have paid off, notwithstanding the penalties. And they reckon the tracks at the 3 remaining venues are going to favour Mercedes, who've now established a faster straight line speed. So he's got a realistic chance of winning the championship again.
Did you see where Verstappen had got fined?
Only needs one
looking and
race for
touching.
Verstappen not to finish in the top 3, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Ron, you talked across Dave just then. 1 second. Dave, say again.
Did you see where Verstappen had got fined?
Yes.
28,000 for looking. That was looking and touching Hamilton's car. Yeah.
Oh, that was in the pit, wasn't it? That was in the pit.
Yeah.
And I think
Bizarre.
didn't Hamilton then get fined for taking a seatbelt off to get the Brazilian flag from the crowd when he was doing his lap of honour? There are some bizarre
that was
rules.
only about
There really are.
5,000, wasn't it? As opposed to what you call it, 50,000.
Yeah. Ron, you were saying, mate, I'm sorry, just you were cutting in.
All I was saying is Verstappen only needs not to finish in the top 3 for 1 race, and Hamilton, assuming Hamilton carries on doing well, he's beaten.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't think Verstappen might take Hamilton out then?
Oh, probably will.
dinner?
Oh, I think it's a possibility.
I would buy a ticket for that one.
Every race, isn't it? There's a chance.
The other thing, I know, Peter, you're not so keen on it, but I am fascinated by the technology. They're playing in hot countries in the last 3 playing. They're driving in hot countries the last 3 Grand Prix, and that has a big impact on tyre wear and the management of the race. And it's you see this dialogue ongoing between the driver and the support team, and they've got all this computery in the team to say box now, and the driver's saying, why? I don't want to, because we've got the technology and you're going to lose if you don't come in. They've got it down to a fine art. I find it fascinating, but there you go. I'm a nerd. What do you mean, yes?
Just something I said.
You can take a vote on it if you really want. Okay. Crack on, sir.
Right, local sport, and I think you've covered the Division 1. Onto
let's do it
Panorama
again.
National League. Chesterfield were comfortable 4-0 winners at home to Weymouth and went to the top of the league as
Bongo.
Sorry, Chris, could only draw 1-1 at Altrincham.
Brilliant point. Brilliant point.
Back, probably was. Yeah, not sure when they scored. Sheffield FC at home held 5th place Ossett Town to a creditable 0-0 draw in the north. Sorry. Wrong way. Wait a second. in the Northern Premier League East Division 1 and moved up a place to fourth from bottom. Stocksbridge Park Steels in the same division lost at home 2-1 to Brickley and are 9th. Hallam FC in the Northern Counties East League Division 1 beat Armthorpe Welfare 3-1 at Sandygate in front of a crowd of 656. They are 4th and are the top scorers in the league, 69 in total, of which 41 are at home, and have a goal difference of 49.
Wow.
God.
Yes,
Astonishing.
John, you'll have to go there instead of Hillsborough.
Yeah, my nephew used to play for him. Yeah, didn't used to score many though.
Was he in goal?
Astonishing, that. 49 goal
Very good,
difference.
Ian. Very good. I
In November.
much prefer Hallam's
Whoa.
Sheffield's. Yeah.
Sorry, was that an intro to rugby league, Dave? What are we on to now?
Season.
Sorry, there
Haven't
were,
seen anything for St Helens.
Oh, rugby league, Ian.
well, I just wanted to know. There's a lot of
I'll just say
crosstalk.
rugby league.
You're going to have to put a
And
banner
we're-
up, mate, when you're on rugby league, so I don't miss the opportunity. I like me, and I don't have me each week. It's
Oh, listen.
life's not worth living.
Poor lad.
Sounds more like Dad's army.
And I like Dad's army too, Paul, if you don't mind.
I know you do.
Who doesn't?
In your case, it's Dad's Air Force.
Oh, very good, sir. Very good.
Answorth in the end.
Enough of this banter. Get on with the facts. Let's go.
Right, Answorth in the NCL Premier League drew 1-1 at Hemsworth Miners Welfare and are also fourth at 11 points behind the leaders, Grimsby Borough. Right, ice hockey, a mixed bag of results for the Sheffield Steelers. A 3-1 win on Saturday at the Nottingham Panthers in the Challenge Cup group match. The win cemented their place at the top of the group with qualification for the next stage already confirmed. However, on Sunday, and in front of over 7,600, the Steelers were thrashed 5-0 at the arena by the Cardiff Devils. 3-0 down at the end of the first period. They conceded 2 more in the second, with the third period goalless. They remain top, but the Panthers and Coventry Blaze now have 4 matches in hand and are 6 and 7 points behind, respectively. Basketball. The Sheffield Sharks were in action against the London Lions in the BBL Cup quarterfinals and were soundly beaten, and in all 4 periods as well, on their way to 100 points to 68 defeats. Sheffield Hatters had no match. And the nearest I get to rugby league is Staines Rugby Union. Sheffield Tigers were beaten at their Dormoor ground by Fylde, 43 points to 12, and remain 10th in the National 2 North League table.
Not been a good weekend then, has it? Yeah.
Yeah, no,
But
it's
I
you've
played
got a bit of a
against-
lot in.
I played against Fylde a couple of times against Billy Beaumont.
Yeah.
Thoroughly,
Yeah.
thoroughly nice guy, except for 80 minutes.
Absolutely.
Ian.
He was due to play at Blackburn in a charity match and cried off, but came and stood and chatted in the bar anyway.
Yeah.
That's typical Bill Beaumont.
Yeah, lovely. Sorry, Chris, you're saying?
Well, just to say, my ex-boss, many years ago, was the chairman of Fylde. His name was Graham Sharman. Very big, tall, 6 foot, ex-player, and he was the club. He really, really was behind the club. Just to say, that's my only connection with a club like Fylde, tenuous though it may be.
You later became
Lovely
Holland
ground
Shaw.
and a lovely clubhouse, I recall.
Apparently, yeah.
Very lovely ground.
Yeah.
Near the coast. Carry on, Dave.
Right, well, to finish, boxing, and we've just had a run of defeats and another one. Sheffield's Kid Galahad was knocked out by Spain's Kiko Martinez 6
Wow.
seconds into the 6th round. That was Galahad's IBF World Featherweight title defence, the first. Despite being in control for the first 4 rounds, Martinez first floored Galahad with seconds to go in the 5th before finishing him off at the start of the 6th. So terrible run there, 4 defeats out of 5, I think, at least. That's the end.
Hey.
Thank you very much, Dave. Other Dave, are you going to play as a guitar tune or something?
Yeah, I noticed that.
You won't like it.
Oh, well, one lives in hope.
Oh.
Before we go into quizzes, Chris, have you got any film news you want to share with us?
A very, very thin week, Ian. There's only Caddyshack being shown yet again. That's on Friday, this coming Friday on Sky Comedy at 1:15. But apart from that, I have to say a lot of the film channels are now totally Christmas-fied.
Yeah.
So as there aren't too many films about sport and Christmas that I can think of, I think it's probably the new year before we'll see many sports-based films. But if you want to laugh and you haven't seen it at least 8 times, Caddyshack's on Friday, which makes me smile.
Blame them for putting Christmas films on now, because I mean it is November.
Yeah.
Well, you say that in jest,
Been a special
Peter.
Christmas channel on for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, they have. Yeah,
I was
it's
over
incredible.
I was over in Surbiton for a belated birthday party with my daughter acting as hostess and what have you, and had to take the dogs out for a walk, as you do. And there were already 2 houses fully decorated.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a bloody long walk. I thought I started it in November, you know. But, and then
What
I
channel
go,
was Caddyshack on, Chris?
Hello?
Sorry, what channel is Caddyshack on? Is it
Sky Comedy 308.
Right.
It's on at 1:15 on Friday, this coming Friday. Couldn't find anything else really worth talking about.
Okay.
Talking about Surbiton, Ian, I was on a 3-week course at Hinchley Wood and stayed in a family's home in Surbiton and shared the room with Tom Smith, who played rugby league for Wakefield Trinity.
Yeah.
He was a big bugger, he was a big man.
Yeah.
And he had the unnerving habit of when we went for a walk in the evening in a local park before we went to the pub, he would dive at my feet and bring me down.
were you wearing your party?
I've got to keep me practicing. I've got to keep my skills honed, you know. Yeah, great. Yeah.
Were you wearing your party frock again?
I was. Pink.
My favourite dining out story of rugby league players is I told you that my uncle was director of UGB Ravenhead Glass, and they used to do these special glass for tourists and top games. And after one game when St Helens hosted, I think it was New Zealand, we got into the clubhouse and all the glasses presentations were made, and my cousin and I fell heir to these defect glasses. You know, they've probably got a slight pinprick or something like that. Anyway, long story short, I needed to go to the loo. I was told it was over the other side of the clubhouse and up and down.
No, you did.
You
didn't.
And this, I said, guys, you know, it was John Mantle and Ray French. I said I think it was Ray French, do you know where the pea stones are? I said, yes, they're there. John, get out of the bloody way. He was so big, he blocked the entire door. I couldn't see where the against loo was. He blocked it. Anyway, that's by the by. I think, Keith, we're on to quiz time. Do you have anything up your sleeve?
Right.
Keith's got one he sent me.
Yeah, I've got. Do you want to do it, John?
No, because it's hard for me to read on the
Okay.
WhatsApp. So as you've got it in front of you, you're better off doing it.
Yeah. Right. What this was news, sporting news down the years for last week. So, such as on the 8th of November last year, Don Bradman scored his 99th first-class century for South Australia against Victoria. Well, it could have been the other way around, but it was in that game. In 1970, it was the 5th Rugby League World Cup, and Australia beat Great Britain 12-7 in that one. 1984, Wasim Akram made his first-class debut, and shortly afterwards, it's something ridiculous, like 14 days after, he played for the Pakistan national team. It's bizarre. 1987 was the Cricket World Cup, and Australia beat England again. 7 runs this time, so quite close. And then in 1992, someone won his first Formula One championship. Who was it?
James
Mansell.
Nigel Mansell, that's right. And
No sort of driver.
Sorry?
And at the time,
No
he went
sort of
on-
driver. I've done him on the inside. I've told you all about it. No problem. Didn't use his wing mirrors properly.
He went on to win a record. How many championships?
4.
No.
2.
How many championships? Mansell?
Yeah.
1.
It was a record at the time after he won his.
Do you mean how many races?
No, championships. Sorry. No. Sorry.
Can't be.
Because
he only won 1 championship, didn't he?
Yeah. In that championship, he won how many races? That's the question.
And
I get
Now
there
we
in
got
the
that
end.
sorted. Anybody got the answer?
I'm totally confused. Pass.
11?
Not quite.
Well,
It was 9.
Yeah,
He won
correct,
9 races. So,
everybody knows that.
and there were probably fewer races at that time, so that was
Yeah.
something.
And Verstappen won about 8 this season.
He must be getting.
Yeah.
Right. That was on the 8th of November. On the 9th of November in 1961, and I was astounded to hear this, the Professional Golf Association eliminated which rule? 1961. No,
The ball dropping rule.
no.
Place the
It's
ball.
with the actual rules of the game.
Internal, out of bounds.
No, it's nothing to do with the rules of
Women
the
playing.
game.
Women
Eh?
playing. Dress
No.
code.
Women caddies.
Right. It was they eliminated the rule Caucasians only.
Oh.
When was that?
1961. It's incredible.
Yeah, but you've still got.
I bet Tiger Woods was very grateful for that.
It would be. I mean, it's. I was very surprised to hear it because I didn't think it was. Anyway.
I think we're showing our age, Keith. 1961 to us is recent, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's be honest.
It's 80 years ago.
Speak for yourself.
Is it now?
Anyway, in,
80 years
right.
ago.
In 1984, Larry Holmes beat who?
Ali.
No,
No.
it's somebody
Foreman.
not as well known.
Joe Buckner.
No, he's got an unusual first name.
Buster.
It's not a proper name.
Buster.
No,
Mathis. Buster Mathis.
His second name was Smith.
Bone Crusher.
Hurricane.
Bone Crusher Smith.
Bone. Yeah.
John.
He won a technical knockout in the 12th round.
dear.
In 1985, Gary Kasparov became the youngest ever world chess champion. Any idea who he beat?
Fisher.
Basket.
No,
Fisher? No?
Kasparov.
Keith, have you trapped somebody's dog behind your cooker?
No, it's our Paul's dog, and he doesn't normally bark, but he knows something's going off. So, in 1985, Richard Hadley took 9 for 52 against Australia at the Gabba. I bet that went down well.
Gabba dabba doo.
In 1996, Evander Holyfield beat who to become the second boxer to win the heavyweight title or a heavyweight title 3 times with an 11th round knockout.
Tyson.
Tyson.
Dyson.
Yeah.
Good show.
Yeah.
Which is here, isn't it?
And who was the first boxer to win it 3 times?
Lloyd Patterson.
Lloyd Patterson. Yes, it's Floyd Patterson. It was on.
It wasn't Patterson.
Where's it now?
Ali
No,
won it 3 times, isn't
Ali, yep. Ali.
it? Isn't that when Tyson bit Holyfield's ear?
I think it was.
I don't
Well,
think
that was
so.
Luis
It was,
Suarez.
It was an 11th. This time it was an 11th round knockout. I think it was the rematch where he beat him.
Right, okay.
Suarez. That's funny.
Yeah. So on the 10th of November, in 1978, Larry Holmes was at it again, and he knocked out Alfredo Evangelist in 7 to win the WSC title. In 1983, Marvin Hagler won a points decision over who?
Sugar Ray Leonard.
No.
No.
Very famous. Very
Manny Pacquiao.
Duran.
Roberto Duran. And any idea what was significant about the fight?
Duran's refused to get up from his corner.
No, it went to a decision. Right. and
Was it a tie?
No, it was the first time that
Draw.
had not won. First time he'd been taken to a decision by the judges.
Right.
So, in 1984, Australia were all out for 76 versus the West Indies at the Wacker, with Holding taking 6 for 21. I bet that went down well as well.
Well, Michael.
Yeah. Has anyone been to the Wacker besides me?
No.
I didn't see a cricket match. We just popped in and had a look round.
Old or new?
New.
Wow.
Long way to go from Losborough. Yeah.
Envy you greatly seeing that. That's a fantastic stadium.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a new one. It looked new.
But when did you
Is
go?
this in 1961, Keith?
When was the new one built?
Less than 10 years ago.
Oh no, it must have been the old one then.
Oh,
It was 1951.
And it was right at the side of the Australian Royal Mint.
Oh, handy.
Yeah.
Handy if you run out of change in the bar.
Yeah. Or you need a coin to toss to do the with.
You mean to
Can
say
we
that
borrow your coin?
You what, sorry?
Excuse
the
me.
Australian Royal
Borrow a
Mint?
coin. Sorry, Jonathan.
No, I was just thinking, extraordinary that the Australian Royal Mint is in Perth rather than on the East Coast,
Yeah.
Sydney or
It is, isn't
Melbourne.
it?
You've
Well,
got to take all that money across the Nullarbor plane, and before anywhere of any significance. Yeah.
It may well be like it is in this country where they move it round every so often.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch out for Nick Kelly.
They probably put it in Perth because all the baddies are in Melbourne and Sydney and Adelaide. It's a long way for them to go.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I've been to the Adelaide Oval.
Yes, I have.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But inside the scoreboard there. Oh,
wow. We've covered a few grounds between us.
Yeah. There's a very nice museum at Adelaide too, and inside the ground.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, Colin.
Yeah, I've been to the old ground in Antigua and walked out onto the square. Well, I was invited to go on the square, have a look around. And then the old boy there, ramrodding things, took us in the dressing room, and you'd be appalled how bad it was. This was just after the game where Lara scored his 300, was it 65 or 66 to beat? I think he got 400, didn't he, to beat?
Yeah.
So good as record, but they were terrible. It was more like a blooming chicken coop than a dressing room.
Wow.
Mhm.
I was at Newlands with Knots on a pre-season tour, and we were sitting there. I was scoring for them, and there were little fellas carrying bits of the ground away. They were dismantling Newlands, ready for the rebuild because they'd just got back into international sport. And it was very peculiar to see somebody come and take the benches from behind you and move them away and carry them off. Oh dear. And being sworn at in Afrikaans by their scorer.
I once bowled at the old Kensington Oval in Barbados to Roland Butcher.
And I bowled there to Carl
really?
Hooper. Yes, that's probably the same match.
It was Butcher's debut for England, playing in his home country of Barbados.
Yeah,
and he was stood there. I was just on the boundary line. He said, "Can you bowl some throwdowns at me?" So I went, "Yeah," and I thought it'd be 5 minutes. It was about half an hour. I was exhausted. And can you imagine that happening now in a Test match arena?
No.
An international player says to a bloke in the crowd, "Can you chuck some balls at me so I can have some practice?" And it was only in '81, and you think, "Oh my Lord!"
But Chris, the first time I met you in '95, Australia.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We went down there, a couple of us, before the game. I mean, on the day before the game. And this guy just sort of beckoned to us, who was sitting in the stands there. He said, "Come in, have a look around." And we went out into the middle, and suddenly the sprinklers came on. You knew that was going to happen. And you only see with these lovely pair of white teeth, which were just doing that, laughing away in the stand.
You got set up there.
Yeah.
Great humour.
Right.
We've covered some grounds there, fellas.
Yeah.
Well
because
travelled.
I've been to the best cricket ground in the world.
Bramall Lane.
Bramall Lane, of course.
Yeah. It was certainly the ugliest.
Yeah. If only United hadn't selfishly got rid of it.
Yeah.
Which other county had a football?
Northampton.
Had a very interesting talk at Probus about Bramall Lane from when it was the original cricket ground and when it was the base for Yorkshire cricket. Excellent talk. And Norman Yardley's two twin sons came to listen to it because they were interested, Ed and Bob, and then Ed gave us a talk the following week on Kenneth Steele, the Sheffield artist, and a couple of lovely blokes.
Yeah. Right. I'll just say there's only a couple more facts to come. 1991, Martina Navratilova tied with which other lady tennis player on 157 pro tournament wins?
Billie Jean
Chris
King.
Evert Lloyd.
Billie Jean.
No,
Chris Evert Lloyd.
Everett.
Chris Evert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good answer.
That's not just Grand Slams, that's some of the other
Yeah.
big tournaments.
Hmm.
And in 1991, what significant cricket event took place? It was a one-day international against India.
Oh.
What,
Was it
England?
under floodlights?
No, it wasn't England.
Was it floodlights, Keith?
Pakistan.
No,
World Series cricket? No, it was earlier than that, wasn't it?
no,
Was it to do with Pakistan?
no,
Oh,
Bangladesh.
no,
Women.
no.
One day international against. Who
It
did you
was
say?
against India.
Oh, was it South Africa's first after
Yes.
apartheid?
Ah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Their first game since
Well worked up, Paul.
Yeah, well done.
since 1970.
their first Test match was at the Kensington Oval against the West Indies,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the ground was boycotted.
Yeah.
Was it?
Right.
Nobody went. They weren't ready for it. Couldn't do it. Nobody went.
Yeah.
Was it-
I went because I got the tickets for it on holiday, so I went. But I was very much on my own.
Yeah.
Interesting choice of opponent for their first game after apartheid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was pretty political, wasn't it, at the time? But
Just about.
yeah. I think it was the game from memory where South Africa needed something like 60 or 70 to win with 8 wickets in hand, and got bowled out by Walsh. They got bowled out by Courtney Walsh and Ambrose, and lost. And the West Indian team in an empty ground. I was there, but it was an empty ground. They joined hands and ran round the perimeter of the ground with linked hands in victory. It was an amazing event. That was first test match back.
Yeah.
Right. We're down to just almost less than a minute. Any suggestions for next week? Well, can I make a suggestion for next? If you'll go for it, Trevor. Hello, Trevor. Could we ask you a few questions about your career as a lino, please?
Yes, certainly. I was a referee for 20 years altogether. Started in 19, but
no, I'm talking about next week.
Yeah.
Next week. Save it for next week.
Trevor.
And if you can have a few facts about your time and that, be brilliant.
Trevor, don't forget to tell us about the day you jumped in the snowdrift.
Thank you very much.
Right. That's about it, chaps. So
Thank you very much.
see you next week.